like to welcome to episode 7 of Home Visit with Tyler Siskey and Associates, my good buddy, the co-defensive coordinator, linebackers coach as well, of the University of Kentucky, Big Blue Nation, Jon Sumrall. Jon, how we doing, brother?
I'm outstanding. I'm honored and privileged to be on such an esteemed podcast, to follow the likes of who you've already had on, mainly Rich Rod. Forget the other guys, but Rich Rod. I feel like I've made it in life. So I'm glad to be here.
You know, I was thinking we're getting ready for the podcast. It's very, what people don't understand is people think like interviewing one of your buddies is an easy thing, but it's really not, because some things we can't talk about that go to the grave with us.
Right.
And some things we can't. So you gotta really, you gotta fish the waters. But I did think about this. So the earliest time that I can remember going like, who the hell is this guy? Is so during recruiting, okay, I'm out, and I was a hustler and moving around Bob and Shake. And then every time I showed up, you were there or just left. And I was like, who the hell is this guy? And so, and then you started, and then the quality, the thing I always is you are a grinder on the road. And you and I have we've talked about this a lot. We have a lot of similarities on the road and things like that. And you know how much I love you. But as much as you've put into recruiting and how good of a recruiter you are, who is the best recruit that just drives you nuts that you didn't get?
You already know the answer to that. It's Nakobe Dean at Ole Miss. I don't know if I've ever worked so hard to find every way to build a relationship and probably had a great relationship there. Obviously, fantastic player, great young man, great mom, was there like every time you were allowed to be there and to the maximum amount of time, and felt like the night before signing day, like we're getting him.
Would it really be, is it considered the night before sign day when it's really like 5 in the morning?
Yeah, it's 4 a.m. when you're like, we're still getting him. We're good. And then at like 8 a.m., it's like, I don't know. And then at 9 a.m., it's like, yeah, we're not getting him. but that one broke my heart. And obviously in our business, you got to get over it quick. You got to pull your boots up and move on. But it really hurts now because we're in the same division as him. So I see him live once a year. And the guy that's his defensive coordinator and I are good friends, Dan Lanning. And so I pretty much I hold the grudge on that one. I know when Matt first got hired there, Matt Luke, who was our head coach at Ole Miss, Matt said that they were getting ready to play the Sugar Bowl, and Matt just got there. And somebody said to Matt, like, hey, why don't we get a picture of you and Nakobe? And Matt was like, no, it's too soon. Like, I'm not okay with that yet. Like,
yeah. I talked, I've talked to Matt too, and that was that he made me cry probably the hardest is, they said they introduced him in a team meeting or whatever. And he goes, who was sitting up? That's the only thing it says. They introduced me in a team meeting, and who was sitting right up front looking at me? It was Nakobe Dean. So, yeah, too soon. That was a tough one. That was a tough one. And one day, when we're all, and I'm not just going to do it because I can do it now. I'm going to wait till everybody is retired, out of coaching, and nobody's ever going to go back. And we'll do a they won't have podcasts then. It'll be some kind of new deal. But one day we'll tell the story of what really happened. Yeah. But we got to make sure everybody's retired.
Nobody can be coaching anymore.
Ever. Like you got to be like you can't be coaching Little League.
Everybody was if you're coaching Little League, that full story gets out, they'll ban you from the league.
You'll get banned from Little League.
Yeah. No, there was a lot of twists and turns, and I think the worst, the craziest part of all of it after it all happened, that night, because we had been grinding on recruiting, I had booked a date with my wife I think it was maybe at Boo-Ray or one of the places in Oxford, or what's the good steak place in Oxford? Grill House, maybe there too. I'm dropping names. When I come back, they'll give me a free meal. But so we had a dinner date planned because that Wednesday night, it's like I hadn't seen her awake. I've been on grinding, and the whole night, I'm like somebody shot my dog. It was like I had lost a dear, loved friend, and just heartbreak. But yeah, that story's not allowed to be out for a lot of people's sake. Not really ours, because we didn't do anything, but some other people's probably.
Yeah, that's going to be one of those. You're going to find out where Jimmy Hoffa's buried.
Yeah,
You're going to find out who killed JFK, and then
no doubt.
What really happened during that time.
What went down in 24 hours? Yeah,
we'll do it in that order.
Well, because you got to save the best for last.
That's it. Got to.
Yeah,
got to. And thinking back in my whole career, Chris Jones was kind of up there for me. It was maybe the number one story and everything. But I think our good pal Nakobe took the cake on that one. So I think that one's even greater than that one. But anyway, all right. So what is the one thing that I always love about you is this is something that we both do a lot when we're on the road is we go you got to go see parents during contact period. You can go see them and you and I both have gone. We've told some crazy stories together, but we've both gone to crazy lengths to go see people and see parents. And I'll tell a kid, I don't care where they're at, what they're doing. Let's go. What's the craziest place that you've visited parents during contact period?
There's a bunch, and the list, it's kind of all right, what's the craziest? I could probably get down a couple. One is a mom was a nurse at an elderly care facility, and I'm busting up in and I'm hanging out with patients, and I'm like, hey, can I help you? Is there something I can do? just to get in half an hour with the mom, because she was going to be working during my time to be in town. I wasn't going to be able to go by that night because I was having to fly out or drive out to get somewhere else that night. And you got to maximize any opportunity you get. So that was one, I'm in there trying to help somebody change sheets for, at an elderly care facility. And the other that I actually have not visited once, but I visited the same place twice for two different recruits, was the dog track in Mobile that actually no longer has dogs. Which it'd be cool if there was actually live dogs there, but there's no dogs anymore. You're sitting there watching betting on TV because there's no dogs running there anymore at the time.
Oh, I know. I was there.
Yeah, and I'm going in, and it's I admit I do horse racing and stuff. I go to horse races up here, but I've been to a couple of dog tracks, don't go to many, and I'm not realizing I'm getting ready to pull up to a dog track where there's actually not dogs, it's TVs of dogs running
in their defense. So I lived in Mobile twice.
Yeah.
Mobile Greyhound Park, they had,
correct.
It was the place to be.
It used to be the big deal. Yeah.
A big deal. And then I don't know why they had to shut down. They just didn't have enough dogs. I don't know. But they started, now they've turned it into straight simulcast. And I do think they run matinees there, because the particular kid that we're discussing that we were there to see, I remember the mom telling us they have to run them once a month or something to make it still legal or whatever, and so
make it active.
Have matinee.
Right, they have a bring your dog to the park that run around and keeps it active.
hey, great story about Mobile Greyhound Park. So we're playing in, at that time, it was, which you've played in a couple of times too, at different stops. It was the GoDaddy Bowl at the time, and now it's Dollar General Bowl. So I don't know, it changes every couple
GMAC, GoDaddy,
whatever.
Dollar General.
Yeah, the Mobile Bowl.
Yeah.
And so we go, I'm all you go as coaches, whatever. We go the year that we're in transition of coming to Ole Miss. Okay. Yep. So, which is a whole different story for a different day. It's not like I got a podcast. I can tell something. I couldn't tell before. But there was a little baffle between, we're not really on Hugh's side, but there was the administration at Arkansas State was very upset at Hugh for taking the Ole Miss job. And so a lot of our coaches were not allowed to come back and coach the bowl game. So Hugh wanted everybody to come back. He wanted to finish the season. He wanted to do everything right. But with the administration, not that's there now, that says none of the ones last couple. But they didn't want him to come back and coach the game. So we coached, can't make this up, we coached the bowl game with 4 coaches.
Wow.
Okay, 4 coaches. And then, so I know Corey Batoon, who's now the defensive coordinator was at Ole Miss, now at South Alabama. So Corey is what I call the voice of reason. he doesn't say a whole lot, but when he talks, you listen, and he's usually right. So Corey, I was all fired up because we go to this bowl game, and one of the nights was like, hey, your wife, hey, we'll come down to the Mobile Greyhound Park. We're going to have this nice dinner and the suite. And you're going to take a picture, it's like with the winning dog in the 6th race. It's some kind of super tournament they got. I'm all fired up because the last time I was there, it was really nice. Coach, I walked in there, that place looked like a bomb had gone off.
No, it's different.
And so we go, and it's just, food's bad, everything. And Corey's just like, he's a big animal guy. So he was like, he was like, I don't know about all this. They take us down to the lobby to take a picture with this dog that wins the race. And I will never forget, for whatever reason, it was the 6th dog in the 6th race who won. And the dog did, and they were bringing him out in like the lobby, not in where the dogs are, but in the lobby where the people are. And this guy, the only time I've ever seen Corey Batoon really about to get violent on somebody, this guy is dragging this dog across, dragging him. The dog didn't want to go. And so he's dragging the dog across the floor. And then like his paws, like his feet were bleeding.
Oh, gosh.
So he was bleeding next to the pitcher, and the dog was trying to get away, and the guy kicks the dog.
Oh, gosh.
I thought Corey never, he's non-confrontational.
Right.
Greatest human being ever. He's like Gandhi. It's like Gandhi, then Corey Batoon, right? And I had to I didn't have to physically restrain, but I was like, Corey, it's chill. Corey was like getting after this guy, and that was a bad deal. But yeah, we'll go Greyhound Park. And then I also went to the same nursing home because I know who you're talking about there too. I also went there, but I was at a different school than you were at that time. But
we weren't on the same side there.
We weren't on the same side. That guy may or may not be playing for the Kentucky Wildcats right now. Is that accurate?
He's with us.
Okay.
He's with us.
I'm the same guy. All right. So the other thing about recruiting that people don't really know about is we drive, especially you spend a lot of time in Group of 5. I spend a lot of time in Group of 5.
Oh, yeah.
There's no private planes and all that stuff to go recruit.
No doubt.
Lots of driving.
Yep.
Okay, and there's these. I have 2 of them. I'll go ahead and tell you mine because I don't want you to steal. I know which one you're going to steal, so I'm going to make you pick another one. All right. So there are 2 drives that don't look that very far on the map. They're nice, easy drives, but take forever. And that's the drive from Montgomery to Mobile on I-65. It feels like it takes 18 days.
Yep.
And then the drive from Atlanta, Georgia to Greenville, South Carolina on I-85 are the 2 longest stretches of highway that it just feels like it takes 46 years. What's the longest drive that you have or the worst drive that you had on the road?
I got 3 kind of different. One was a one-timer. I'm coaching at Troy. A lot of these go back to like Troy or Tulane or wherever. Group of 5, or I got a couple of FCS ones too, but I'm coaching at Troy. I'm going to California to spring JC recruit, right when recruiting opens, like April 15th, 17th, that time frame. Really just go watch kids in the weight room work out and figure out who are the potential linebackers that I might want to keep my eye on the next year, et cetera. And so I fly to San Francisco, right? Okay. And from Montgomery, which means like Montgomery, Atlanta, San Francisco, right? And then I land in San Francisco at like, I don't know, probably 1 a.m. Get to the hotel, the Marriott by the airport there, like 2 a.m. And then I'm supposed to be at City College at like 8 a.m.
Right.
So I go to like City College, I go to Laney, I do all the Bay Area JCs. And I do that all day. All right. And then right when I'm done with my last, like watching my last few kids work out at their junior college in the Bay Area, I get on I-5 and I drive from there to Orange County, so south of LA. Because I didn't want to pay for another different rental car or another flight because I'm trying to save Troy a couple dollars. I'm trying to save Troy a couple dollars. So drive from Orange County. And like, I lived in California for 5 years, so I'm used to like traffic and stuff. It's like I'm driving through you're driving from San Francisco and go through the valley, and then you get into, you're driving to LA, and it's like, dude, what am I doing? This is the dumbest idea I've ever had. I mean, it's like 10 hours or something. Like, it's stupid. Driving the whole state of California. And then I wake up the next day and I recruit the entire Orange County, LA area junior colleges to go see like 5 or 6 linebackers. Then I don't get done with that until like late. And then I fly out the next morning, like 6 a.m. But that drive from San Francisco to Orange County was like the worst. That was the dumbest thing I've ever done. But I mean, I would have figured out a way to like use a travel day, fly the next day, stay in a hotel, sleep in a car, but not drive that far. That's stupid.
That's a long haul right there.
Stupid. And it was all for like 2 days. So that was always one, like the worst one that I did one time. Then there's 2 others that I did all the time that were really, really like, one of them was bad design. So when I'm at Troy, I recruited, and you reference like you and I would run each other, or we'd be chasing each other's tail and recruiting in Mobile. So when I was at Troy, my main recruiting areas, I had a lot of the state of Alabama, but I didn't have anything for a while there. I really was not primarily in charge of anything between Birmingham and Montgomery. I had everything north of Birmingham and everything south of Montgomery. Oh. But the main reason was because that's where my best relationships had been built over the years. Where I'm from, North Alabama, I had built a lot of relationships in South Alabama. And so and I had relationships in the middle, but we had other guys on our staff that were either from Birmingham or Al Pogue had coached at Montgomery. So I would, like, during the contact period, when it's not like spring recruiting, I'd go to North Alabama for a week, go to South Alabama for a week. So I wasn't driving. Contact period, you're at Troy, you're not hopping on a plane to go from Mobile to Huntsville.
No.
Right? No. And so like I'd be in Mobile on a Monday, and then I'd have to like go see 2 or 3 kids we were actively recruiting to sign in that class. And then that Monday night, when I was done, I would get in the car and drive as far as I could, usually tried to get to wherever I needed to be the next day, which would be, it could be Huntsville, or it could be Coleman, or it could be Florence, or it could be Decatur, or whatever. And I would drive. So I would drive past Montgomery, Birmingham, get all the way to North Alabama. And I wouldn't leave Mobile until 9 o'clock at night, when I was done with an in-home visit, and I'd have 6 hours to drive or 5 hours to drive. I'd get to where I was going at like 4 a.m. or 3 a.m. It's stupid. I mean, looking back, like I'd be like, hey, I'm going to stop in Montgomery or Birmingham, and I'll drive there. But I just got it done because I always like being on location.
It's funny how, like, when you're younger, so like when, when you're, when I first started, I mean, we'd drive. I mean, it was like we were working hard if we drove and stayed up all night and all that stuff. And then when you get older and you've been there and done that, you're looking for a hotel at you start at 9 o'clock and you're looking for a hotel.
It's 8:30. I got to get dinner and go to bed.
Yeah, got to get dinner. Got to watch Jeopardy and then go to bed.
The other one, the last one that was not really like a recruiting drive per se, like I was going to see a certain kid or area, but it was always when I was at Troy, the drive back to Troy from 65, when you're either like just getting back to Troy.
Oh, brother, no question. Because there's nowhere, like, people don't understand that. If you look at the map of Alabama, you're like it was for me, it was like, because, Dothan, if I had to go to Dothan or anything like that from Mobile, like, it's right there on the map.
But it ain't clean.
It's not right there. It takes forever, because you have to either go up to Greenville and kick over, or you're going to go through or you got to go to the Panhandle and hit 10, then come up south through Florida.
I used to always get off coming from Mobile to go back home to Troy. I'd get off in Georgiana, where Hank Williams Sr.'s from, and get on 107.
I like how you snuck that in. Good job. I like that.
Hank Williams Sr. And then I would, when I get off 65 and I'd get into Georgiana, after I passed the little town of Georgiana, until I got to Troy, because most of the time I'm driving between like 10 p.m. or 2 a.m., like it's dark out. I'm seeing like 10 times more deer than people. Like it's like you were deer dodging the rest of the hour back to Troy. Like, all right, I'm waiting to hit a deer. Like it's coming.
Yep. You just you're looking for them. Have the lights on bright and get ready to swerve.
Dude, there's no question. Those 3 drives, Cali drive was like, "What? This is stupid," and then the other 2 were just regular drives. I'd like I'd get back to Georgiana or wherever from Mobile on 65, and then from there to get back to Troy was like going to the dentist office for an hour. It's like, here, all right, I'm getting ready to like dodge deer for 1 hour. This is white knuckle driving. I'm not going to see one human being. I'm going to see like 5,000 deer. So
That's good stuff. All right, so now that you're back at Big Blue Nation, all right, that's from a good friend Brian Vincent. He's a huge Kentucky guy.
yes,
He tells you on a daily basis. He's big Kentucky guy, and so he would never say Kentucky. He'd just say Big Blue Nation.
Big Blue Nation.
Now that you're back at Kentucky, have you gone to the horse race? You go to the horse races? You and Jenny go?
Yeah, I've been 4 times in the last month. So
okay.
So Keeneland is in Lexington, all right, and this is a small fact for horse race people that love horse races.
That's the buggy race, right?
What's that?
That's where they race the buggies.
No, that's Red Mile.
Okay, all right.
But all right, so Keeneland is like thoroughbred racing. All right, you're talking about the harness racing is Red Mile.
Okay.
Keeneland though, where the thoroughbred racing is at, so they have like 2 different meets. They have a spring meet, which is in April for 3 weeks, and they have a fall meet, which is in October for 3 weeks. The April one, obviously, we get to enjoy and partake and go hang out. We went 3 times, just me and my wife and some friends, and each time, and then we took our kids one Sunday and let them hang out and kind of pick horses to bet on. And I made the bets, obviously, but so just trying to help them learn how to make some more money off their money. So we go in the springs. That's kind of our window to get to go. But the track here, Keeneland, is very historic. It's very nostalgic. It's got that old school feel. The movie Seabiscuit, a lot of that movie was filmed out here in Keeneland because it's kind of like an old timey feel track. It's like when you pull up to it, and you're like, all right, this place is cool. Like it's got history. On this Friday, I'm actually going to the Oaks, which is the Friday before Derby Saturday. So I've been to the Derby, I don't know, 4 times, I think. I've never been to the Oaks. A lot of people that go to like the Oaks better. I just never been, so I'm going to the Oaks this Friday. I'm pretty excited.
All right, so I got a question for you because you kind of threw a softball up to me because you're more of an infield type of guy to me. Do you go to the infield or have you graduated and now are you putting on spreads and going in the stands? That's the key question.
I'm not afraid to partake in infield type activities.
No, you're not.
But I'm not really probably fully allowed to be there. So I find ways to have that kind of good time. But yeah, I don't, when I was like, we've referenced Troy a couple of times. When I was at Troy, I was a member of the country club, and I brought the country part to the club.
There you go. There we go.
I'm not, always going to be real comfortable wearing a tie, and I won't wear a tie probably Friday. I'll wear a blazer.
That was what I was getting at. I don't know if I can't remember that. Like besides your pictures,
but to enjoy the parts of the track of like, hey, you got a waiter, and like that's pretty good too. Like, because in the infield you ain't got nobody bring you a drink.
No.
So we're definitely not sitting in the infield. I have done the Derby once when I was in college here in the infield, and that was a good time. I don't think you're real worried about the horse race. I think you're worried about other things. This day and age, I don't know if I've fully graduated maturity, but I've fully graduated to not being in the infield. I'm sitting in a reserve something box, grandstand, whatever the heck you call it.
There you go.
Yeah. So well, I got a ticket. I got a seat. But
hey, does Jenny have her hat and all that stuff picked out? She's ready to go?
All right, I'm sleeping on the couch on this one because she's not going. So, this is a boys trip. We're going to boys trip Friday.
I like it.
Yeah, just a boys trip here, just the men going. So I'm returning Friday night. I got baseball and soccer and all kinds of events Saturday to do. are more important than the Derby.
Absolutely.
But I'm going to Oaks Friday, which should be exciting. It's always fun. You know, it's a really cool atmosphere. And in the state of Kentucky, you know, horse racing and bourbon, does it get any better than that? You know, I mean, it's hard to beat.
Pretty good. Well, there's only one thing that's better, and that's NASCAR and cold beer in Talladega.
Hey, look, I'm with you.
And moonshine.
Well, we don't have Talladega, but we got moonshine here too. but it is good. Those events like that, man, you can't beat it. I mean, anytime that there's that many people, and then the excitement and the competitiveness, but also just the atmosphere of those events, it's hard to beat.
All right, you know how much I love NASCAR and how much I love all that stuff. So let me tell you how pissed off I was this past weekend. Just go ahead and tell you, I was pissed. All right. So my buddy Greg Montgomery down at Cooper Chevrolet has got us hooked up. And when we go to Talladega, we don't just go to Talladega and sit in the stands. I'm talking about, it's a trip now. I mean, it's hot passes, it's driver meetings, it's sitting in the pit boxes. I mean, it's big time. He's got, literally everywhere you want to go, it's the way to do it, right? So, you know, past COVID, you know, during COVID, tickets very hard to get. We actually were, in May, we went. There was only 5,000 people allowed. We went. So last year, a year ago.
Yeah.
And so I'm all fired up, looking for it. Well, my son's got a baseball tournament, which I'm dad. Let's go do it. Yeah. I'm all in. Let's go. He's got a baseball tournament. So I'm like, well, at first the baseball tournament was supposed to be only Saturday only. So I'm like, I'm sitting here concocting ways of leaving the baseball tournament, driving to Talladega, the whole deal. And so, but no, the baseball tournament gets moved. Now it's Saturday and Sunday. So now I'm pissed. I'm going to miss the whole weekend. You know, now that I'm not coaching, I got a chance to go, can't do it, right? So everything's good. We show up to go to the baseball tournament on Saturday. Canceled on Saturday. They're going to reschedule for Sunday because it had rained on Friday night and the infields were all messed up. So they were going to dry the infields out and we're going to play on Sunday. Okay. Wake up Sunday morning, canceled.
Shut up.
So I literally had nothing to do all weekend and watched it on TV.
Right. And you're sitting there like, well, I'm here because I got this canceled baseball tournament.
Yeah, canceled baseball tournament because they didn't know how to put diamond. There's this thing called diamond dry.
Yeah.
It's what you put when it, like every other, you know, I guarantee you I could have got a half a case of beer and a truck full of dudes from Anniston, Alabama. We could have had that field ready to play in like 2 hours.
So I got 3 kids playing youth sports right now. My son's playing baseball. My 2 daughters playing soccer, and we had a torrential downpour Saturday here.
Yep.
My 2 daughters, my 4-year-old daughter played in the downpour. This pouring rain.
They're tougher in Big Blue Nation. Is what you're trying to say?
Well, baseball happens, and it rains, and it's like, oh gosh, the world is ending. And I'm like, can we not play in a little rain? Like, what's the deal here? Like soccer, my girls play soccer. We're training them to be tougher and fight through the adversity. Baseball, it's a little rain. Let's cancel it. And I'm like, what do we do? Like, we go play in the parking lot? Like, come on, man. It's make plans to come watch you play. So, yeah.
All right. What's the best food you've ever had on a home visit?
Oh gosh. All right. So, I'm not going to single out one meal at a family's house for a lot of reasons.
I can do it. You can't.
But I can tell you the best meal I've had at a restaurant, and I hope they will listen to this and give me kickback too, is David's Catfish House in Monroeville, Alabama.
Wow.
All right. So, yeah, we're recruiting a kid when I'm there in Troy named J.L. Gaston.
Yeah.
Who went to Monroe Academy. JL is a good player, started for us in the O-line for probably 3 years. Started after I even left. He was still starting there. Parents are awesome people. They actually lived in Frisco City. They didn't live in Monroeville. But we're going to a basketball game that night. And the first time I went to David's Catfish House, I went to go meet Mitchell Tuberville, who I'm sure you know.
Yep.
I'm going to meet Mitchell at David's, who was JL's football coach, before we go to the basketball game. And I'm going to hang out with the parents after the basketball game for a little while. The next time I'm doing my contact in like a week later in December, his mom and dad are like, hey, coach, you want to go to this place, David's Catfish House? I'm like, yeah, I heard it's pretty good. Like,
Yeah.
so I started setting up the home visits at David's Catfish House, the next 5 or whatever visits. So next thing you know, I'm like a regular for 2 months at David's Catfish House. Like I was
Is your corner table ready to go?
They were ready. Sweet tea, fried catfish. I'm talking about like every vegetable fried you could ever imagine. Can't beat it. And so I don't know, like I could be down that neck of the woods and there may not be a player on my list to go see at Monroe Academy or Monroe County, but I'm stopping by there just to go eat at David's. Like it's that good.
I've been known to do that a time or two.
It's pretty good. It's pretty
good. Make up a prospect you got to go see.
Yeah, I got to go see this lunch spot, but it was off the chain.
All right, so you talked about your kids playing soccer, but here's the key question. I got to take this question home. I think I got to deliver some bad news here.
Okay? Yeah.
All right, my 5-year-old Knox and your daughter Stella were like freaking trash.
Oh yeah.
So has Stella moved on and found her new boyfriend, or does Knox still have a chance?
I don't know if she is called Knox. We could maybe work something out. I don't know how long this current one's going to last, but we've got a kid across the street named Packy, and Stella is no longer interested in older boys. He's a little younger, but she's into him. But I think there's still a chance. I don't know that they haven't. There's nothing contractual yet. And I am open to arranged marriages. So for my 3 daughters, my son, I'm whatever. But my 3 daughters, I'm fully open to an arranged marriage. We're going to have to get my accountant involved to make sure everybody's financial stuff looks good, that I don't have to give any money out to them anymore. But yeah, so there's still a chance for Knox. I'd say currently things are on hold. But we got a little guy in the neighborhood named Packy who he's made his move. So Packy is fully. He's got sweet Stella's full attention, and God bless all the boys that are interested in Stella because she's not soft. She's got some toughness.
Yeah, she is. She's hardcore now. Love her.
She is intense.
Love her. So all right. So here's a key question.
Yes.
All right. Key question is this: do you believe in conspiracy theories?
Without question. Yeah.
All right, so what is your favorite conspiracy theory?
Well, there's so many of them to narrow it down, but like anything to do with the federal government, and I'm not saying like I'm not necessarily a big TV person. Like I don't sit around. Like I know some people were hooked on that show Scandal and all that stuff for a while. But like the Manchurian Candidate, that movie.
Yeah.
Like. I'm all in on. I'm not really that political. Like I'm not. I got a lot of things I'm passionate about in life.
I can second that.
Politics is not really high on my list of big time major concerns. I care about social issues. I care about that stuff, but I don't care about politics. Usually that involves agendas. And but I'm a firm believer that things are set up and that like. Just look at our political climate the last couple of go-rounds here. I mean, I got a couple of dudes that live in my neighborhood that I'd vote for on some of these ballots. So, we've got some serious things that have been aligned and made happen that are, I don't care who we're voting for. We got no say, So, like the deep state stuff, all that. Like, I'm not really involved in any of the particular details, but there's stuff. I mean, come on. Like, as many things we've had going in this world. We live in the greatest country in the world, and I got neighbors that would make better political office, be better in political office than some of the people we get to vote for. So, like, bad deal. But yeah, I watched, and I told you earlier, I watched before we got on. I watched Rich Rod's episode. And you've had some great people on the show, like Kane and Hugh Freeze and all these guys are awesome. But what validated my success in coaching and in life is that I got to be on a show that Rich Rod was on. And Rich Rod's, I got to see this fireball gun that he's got. Because I own guns. I've got a couple of handguns. I got a couple of shotguns. I've never seen It reminds me of the movie that Quentin Tarantino did, the one that was about Charles Manson's murders, and the Hollywood Sunrise or Hollywood Sunset or something.
Yeah.
And the guy came out with a flame gun from the movie, and it was like, I'm like, how cool! Like it's something from Ghostbusters. How cool would it be to have a freaking flame? Like, so when I heard Rich Rod's episode of this thing, I'm like trying to figure out how can I get a flame gun or a fire gun.
I have never laughed so hard in my life. So he tells me it's called a burner gun. Okay.
Yeah.
You and I had the same sense of humor. If you ever need entertainment, okay, and we actually posted this on Twitter, like underneath his deal. It's like BYRNA, burner. It's like a thing.
All right. Yeah.
It's basically it's an air pistol, okay, that shoots like paintball looking things.
Yeah.
It's full of like tear gas and pepper spray and all this stuff.
Got it.
They demonstrate it on each other, like the owners of the company demonstrate on each other. And this guy, it is the most beautiful marketing video of all time. This guy's like, he shoots him with his stuff, and this guy's like dying, like he can't breathe. He's like, he can't breathe. And the owner's over there going, "Tell me how you feel. Are you okay?" He's just real monotone, real quiet. It's great. But anyway, it shoots paintballs full of stuff, and I was like, whatever floats your boat, man. But yeah, I'm with you. I'm going to see if they can run through that 45 before I'm going to try the burner gun.
No doubt. Well, so I bought my wife a 9mm Glock. I don't know. It's been 10 years ago. But like, I also have a 45 that's a Glock as well. That I'm like, hey, look, Jenny, there's 2 pistols, and they're away from where the kids can get them. I'm like, whatever. And I'm like, Jenny, there's a pistol over here. If some dude comes in the house, the 9 doesn't put him down, then grab this 45 over here, and it will. like, here's the one that like it's gonna be comfortable for you to shoot, and then here's the one like if it gets real, everybody's up in the house, like this is the one that's gonna put him on the ground. Like
the 9's not good enough. This will put him to sleep.
Right, because the 9 might, some guys in his wrong state of mind, it might just hop him up enough to like make him do something crazy.
Right.
It might not actually put him down.
Yep.
So,
but all right, that's good. All right, so this is something I'm curious. I don't even ask you. All right, so you're from Grissom, Alabama, which is up north Alabama toward Huntsville, right?
Yeah.
So, who did you grow up like? You went to Kentucky, you played at Kentucky, Big Blue Nation all the way. But as a kid, like, who did you grow up pulling for as a kid?
A great question. So, my mom went to the University of Alabama. Both my parents are from South Mississippi, they grew up Jackson-ish, but then I got a lot of family like Hattiesburg, South. And so between Alabama and Auburn, as a little kid, I pulled for Alabama because it's like Bear Bryant was God. Like you heard his voice and you thought, all right, there's Bear Bryant and God's really close. Like, but in a weird way, so if I had to choose Alabama Auburn as a kid, I was pulling for Alabama.
Right.
But I really just loved football, SEC football. I fell in love with. But in a weird way, the team I followed probably the most as a kid was Southern Miss.
The Bulls.
Because of my family's ties in that part of the state, and I had so many aunts, uncles, cousins. I had family members work in the athletic department there back in the 70s and 80s. And so I had an uncle, he's deceased now, a great uncle. It was Uncle Carl. And he showed up to my signing day party at the University of Kentucky wearing a black and gold tie because he was pissed off I wasn't going to Kentucky. I kind of like, I'm an SEC guy. I love the SEC, but I sort of grew up loving Southern Miss, and then in the 90s, they had some players, man. Like they had Todd Pinkston and Delius Thomas, and they had some guys that were like one of the Knicks brothers, Derek and Tyrone. They were also, yeah, big Bull, baby. So there were some Alabama guys. So Jeff Kelly, who played quarterback there in the late 90s, is also an Alabama guy from Citronelle. But so I grew up, I literally like kind of in my mind thought, man, it'd be pretty cool to play at Southern Miss, like in a weird way. Now, when it got to time of where I was getting recruited and I had enough attention to get SEC offers, I was like, all right, I want to play against the best. Like I want to play against Alabama or Georgia or whoever there is. But so between Auburn, Alabama, but I really loved and followed Southern Miss. That's why I have an affinity for like my favorite football, other than the games I coached, is like Conference USA and Sun Belt. And
it's good ball, man. I mean, like the best.
Great ball.
That's the thing. We thought. I think I don't remember who we were at this point in time. I don't remember who I was interviewing or talking about. But to me, if you want to see coaches coach,
man,
and you want to see coaches scheme, you go watch Group of Five. You go watch FCS. You go watch because it's not everybody's got the same players. Okay, for the most part. And at that point in time, it's about scheme. And you know, you get to the SEC, man, and it's like it's not a lot of scheme. Like people think that it's about great coaches and they're doing all this X's and O's stuff. No, like scheme is very, for me anyway. I know for you too. We've talked about this before, but once you get to the SEC, scheme is easy, man.
Right.
I mean, it's all about players at this level.
That's right.
It's all about players.
That's right.
Good scheme. You go to a Group of Five, you're going to see some scheme now.
Yeah. Well, the higher level of football you go, the cleaner the ball gets. So like, and what I mean by that is like in the NFL, you can't get into unbalanced formations where you go with a tight end ineligible. So it's illegal. You can't present an illegal formation and get to a legal formation in the NFL. All the deception stuff is out of the equation. So you get their balls really clean. Now, the players are like freaks and the pass game stuff is maybe more elaborate and you see some stuff that's a little more like just more detailed. But I totally agree. Like the lower you go, the bigger difference coaching can make sometimes. And it's also fun, I think, that level because you see guys that were like not just nobodies out of high school, but like were nobodies, like that had no offers from nobody. And it was like, all right, who we beat on this kid? Well, we beat Air. He was either going to come to us or he's going to go play for Air. And so you get a kid and you see him develop and you're like, wow, this guy's a good player. And you hit the nail on the head, man. The coaching, like some of the best coaching that I've seen was when I was in the Sun Belt. Like you see people do stuff schematically and you're like, okay, like that's pretty, like how are you going to stop this? Like just from run game, RPO stuff, just all the different stuff you see that I think that football, like I'm a sucker for like a Wednesday night Sunbelt game. If it's on
Sunbelt
and we're out and we're done watching our practice video that night, you ain't gotta ask. Like the dudes I work with now, they're like, hey, you know, Louisiana Lafayette's playing Coastal tonight, right? I'm like, come on, dog. I know who's starting at quarterback for both teams. I know I got a pretty good scouting report on both these. Like, I love it. It's awesome. So much fun to watch, and so many good coaches, so many good little players, good programs, neat, really good football.
Yeah, really good football. Really, really good. That's what I thought that was one of the best things the Sun Belt did was really start embracing, you know, because the MAC kind of had, got notoriety early on. And then the Sun Belt starts playing the schedule now. And you and I've been on that side too. It's a little funky coaching when you get those games and, a Tuesday night game or whatever it is. It throws your whole, deal out of whack. I think we played I don't even remember when I was at South and you were at Troy. I don't even think we played on a Saturday. I think every one of them was like a Wednesday or a Thursday or.
Yeah, we played. Y'all played us one time at our place on a Wednesday that I know of because that was right after we beat LSU and y'all came up and beat us. And I was like,
dog finds a bone every once in a while.
Yeah, and then the year before that, maybe we played y'all on a Thursday, down in Mobile.
Yep.
And then I don't know, the first year, we weren't good enough for me to remember much that first year. That first year I was in Troy, I was just like, man, I hope we just like, we don't get embarrassed a couple games. But yeah, no, we played so many of those midweek games and a couple of them against y'all. And it's good for the league, and it's good football. Such good football.
What is the since we're talking a little bit about football, what is the worst visiting locker room that you've ever been in as a coach?
That is the easiest question of the day. All right. So I coached I left being a GA here at the University of Kentucky. I played here 01 to 4 at G5 and 6. My first year at the University of San Diego was 07. All right. And very first game at the University of San Diego, University of San Diego is a 1AA need-based non-scholarship program, has had a ton of success. Jim Harbaugh was there before he went to Stanford. Ron Carragher, who I worked for, then went to San Jose State. Now the head coach there is a guy named Dale Lindsey, who was a longtime NFL coach. They've had a ton of success, and I was fortunate to be a part of that program for a little while. I was there for 5 years. Very first game, 07. I'm leaving, playing my whole college career and GAing so far only in the SEC. So I've been to every SEC stadium.
Right.
And that's my only version of college football.
Yep.
We go play at the time, it was an NAIA school. They're now Division II. I'm not even sure what the status of their program is currently. I haven't followed, but it's Azusa Pacific. It's where Christian Okoye played.
I've heard of them.
All right. And it's in the Inland Empire, east of LA, east of Pasadena, like kind of in the mountainy part, like where you're starting to see mountains form, east of LA there. And the Azusa Pacific, great school, terrific institution, has a religious affiliation. I believe it's maybe Baptist. So really like great school, good people. We pull up and the locker room that we dressed in was actually like, I think like maybe it was a part of the church. Okay. And I think it was like the baptismal area where people went to get changed before you went to go get baptized in the Baptist. Right. And then outside of that locker room, there was basically like a couple of tents set up like we were ready to have a picnic. And so we had like one little room in here where you're allowed to change. And then like real quick, you changed, got out, sat under the tents where it's 100 and something degrees and let somebody else go in and change. And then from there, I think it was probably like a half a mile walk to the stadium. And so like at halftime, we're winning at halftime. We were pretty good. We had Josh Johnson at quarterback who played in the NFL, Eric Bakhtiari, who was a edge rusher for us who played in the NFL. We're like 1AA non-scholarship. We got like some NFL dudes. And we're beating them pretty good. And I'm looking around like, all right, at halftime, we're really going to walk all the way back to the church or the tent set up outside the church. So like, it was like literally like the locker room area was really a tent outside the church area. I don't know if it was really a locker room. It felt like just like we're getting ready to have a tailgate. So that was the worst locker room. And then this isn't the question, but the worst press box I've ever seen. Same league. It's Pioneer Football League. Great. Same deal. Like love coaching that league, man. Awesome football, awesome kids. Like just kids that love playing. Like you have to look at a kid and go, hey, do you love football? Like, coach, I'm playing here. I love football. Like, I love it. And so we go play at Jacksonville University. And at the time, the head coach there is Kerwin Bell, who played quarterback at Florida, has been at Valdosta State, been some other places.
He's about to show up again somewhere.
Is he?
He is. Look at the news wires coming soon.
I'll have to check it out. He was at South Florida, I guess, a year or two ago with Charlie Strong. But we go play at Jacksonville University, the Dolphins. All right.
Yep.
And I'm on the sideline. I'm not in the box. Well, Well, their box, I'm glad I wasn't in it because it was literally, I am not kidding you. It was scaffolding that you climbed up and there was plywood on top of the scaffolding. And it's like, I look up and I see our young guys that are up there at the top of the deal. And I'm like, that cannot be safe. Like, this is not okay. I mean, it's like dangerous. So
No.
I think you see some things like at that level, like the Zoos Pacific's locker room at the time, and that box that make you, when you get back, when you're in this environment, the level you're at here, where we're at. And I walk in, and our players, like, if they look around, they're like, hey, man, how come we got grilled chicken today? I want fried chicken. I'm like, quit whining. Like,
No idea.
Like, go into that locker room, you got like a hot tub, a cold tub, a steam room, a barber shop. Like, we got massages every Sunday. Like, it's unbelievable, man. Some of the stuff. But those kids love football, and it's fun to coach because you got kids that, like, they would play regardless. Like, if you told them, hey, you got to do some of the crazy stuff in the world to play football, they'd still do it.
They would. It's awesome. That's a rewarding part of it, man. Is you got kids at that level that absolutely love it, work their ass off.
Yep.
They're ready to play. They don't whine and complain. They're grateful for what they get. It's rewarding.
Yep. Yep.
All right, switching gears a little bit. What was the last meal that you cooked for your family?
Oh, it's easy. I cook all the time, bro. We're in the off-season mode. And if I'm out of the office and the sun is out, I'm grilling most nights. So this past Friday night, I grilled turkey burgers so I got a big green egg after we played in the Belt Bowl.
That's all you got. That's all you got to say. Once you say that you have a big green egg, know that you know what you're doing.
Dude, I got an extra large big green egg. Like, when I do ribs, I ain't doing a slab of ribs. I'm doing like 8. Like, I don't mess around. So, and I bought it January 2020, and right after our 2019 Belt Bowl, and was like, all right, I'll dabble with this on the weekend here and there. Well, then March comes, COVID, we're shut down for like 2 months. So, like, I'm out every night with a beverage, and I'm like becoming the grill master on the A. And so I'd be like doing a Zoom with a recruit and like smoking wings at the same time last April. Like, that was, so I became, but yeah, turkey burgers last Friday. That I'm on the grill like 3 or 4 nights a week. So I don't do the whole meal usually. I have my wife.
Oh, she does the fixings?
I'm doing meat and something. She's doing vegetables and whatever.
All right. So what's your favorite? Like, Jenny's cooking tonight. You get to pick whatever. What does Jenny cook that you're like, that's your favorite deal? That's your go-to?
Dude, all right. It's not a whole meal, but it's a side, because sides make everything.
They do.
She got an air fryer, okay? And I didn't know what an air fryer was, but she got an air fryer for Christmas. This past Christmas, I think. Maybe it was 2 Christmas ago. I can't keep up.
Did you give her an air fryer for Christmas?
I did not. I'm not going there. I'm not the type that's going to be like, hey, here's a vacuum.
Here's a vacuum.
Here's the dishwasher.
Hey, I got my ass ripped one time because when we were in Tuscaloosa for something, I don't know if it was Mother's Day or her birthday or whatever, I bought her a brand new washer and dryer. Woo! Bad husband.
Nah, that didn't go well. Now, what I've gotten to here's my way of Christmas shopping for my wife. I got a good friend on our staff here, and she usually comes over to our house like around Thanksgiving, and I give her my credit card, and I'm like, get her whatever. The problem is I usually get the credit card, and I'm like, by whatever, I meant like whatever under $500, like, come on. But no, favorite thing, if Jenny says, hey, like, what do you want me to do extra tonight? Dude, she will slice the potatoes up, French fries, do them in the air fryer, put cheese and bacon on them, and it's like cheese fries deluxe, dude. Like, I don't have to go to Outback and ask for cheese fries anymore. I just give them at the house. So it's pretty good. The air fryer is like, other than the big green egg, it's the next best thing that's revolutionized our cooking at home.
How about this? So yesterday morning, we're getting up. Aaron gets up at the crack of dawn, And so she's up, and I was drinking a cup of coffee. It's like kids aren't up. It's like 6
Right.
o'clock, 6:05, and I was grabbed the remote to turn on the news, and our whole, because the kitchen's like off the living room, just lights up, boom, boom, and she screams. I turn around and look, because she was cooking roast potatoes, mushrooms, all that stuff in the crock pot, and the crock pot blew up. Like she
Oh
plugged it
my
in, and
goodness.
boom, and so we had to. She went and got another crock pot last night, so we got the roast and potatoes tonight. But yeah, that was
Did
interesting.
it do any damage?
Shock herself.
Did it do any damage to any of the?
No, it just made the plugs part, turn black or whatever. Because I mean,
Yeah.
it was like electricity. It wasn't fire. It was like blue. Boom.
Golly.
Deal. But it was just an old crock pot that the wire, I don't know if it came loose or what the deal was, but it didn't like it. So it blew when it hit. The cord became detached from the crock pot. Like it wasn't detached. It was in there. When she plugged up, it blew it out, the whole cord out of the crock pot. Pretty crazy.
Wow.
All right. So here's a good question. Do you have any hidden talents that we don't know about?
Oh my goodness. Not anything that's cool. No, I am ridiculously I'm probably better at math than I should be.
You are. I know this.
I'm a stats guy. I'm a numbers guy, and most people would be like, no. But it's funny because I'm that way. And then we've got twins that are 7, a boy and a girl, and our 7-year-old son is that way. Like they go to first grade and they're like, it's a math test, and I'm like, hey, I grab them like, hey, let's go over your math stuff, and my son's like, no, I'm good. My daughter's like, all right, I need to work on it. It's like she's aware, and so like, no, I'm good, and he like gets all of them right, gets the bonus questions right. Now I'm not gonna like write a novel, but I can do math. So I like math. Not a cool hidden talent. I wish I had one. I don't, unfortunately, anything that's really exciting.
You are episode 7. You are the second coach whose hidden talent is math.
Really? Who else was it?
Will Hall.
Is that right?
Yeah, he was going to be a math teacher.
See, I was going to be either a financial planner, or if I didn't do football, which might be on your questions, but if I didn't do football, I would have wanted to go to like right out of college, like Wall Street. Like that would have been like something to me that would have been cool. Like I always have watched, Wall Street movies, shows, studied the market, always thought that was cool. And then just like the grind of it, like, because there's something about the competitive piece of coaching, the chase, the amount of work we do that makes it fun and rewarding. Same deal on that end. It's like, you got to work hard, and,
Yep.
and you get to eat what you kill, like you got to go get it. And so that I always thought that'd be cool, but I got my degree in finance here, contemplated getting my MBA, and it was like, nah, I think I'm gonna coach football. But I grew up liking math, doing well in math, not necessarily liking math class, but I've always I'm the guy on, Sundays and Mondays, I'm like printing off every quickie stat thing I can figure out, like, all right, it's 1st and 10 after, whatever. What are they going to, after they run the ball in the previous 3rd down to get it first, are they going to run or throw it? Like, I love stupid stats that just trying to figure out any hidden stuff, math, baby.
All right, so you brought up you're a finance major. You love the stock market, all that stuff. Do you currently own any cryptocurrency?
That is a great question, and I do not. I've been very intrigued by it. This couple times ago that I was at the horse races, one of the buddies I was with, other than watching the horse races and wagering, we talked about that for like 40 minutes, 30 minutes. It's one of the more intriguing things to me. I struggle to really grasp like the whole concept right now. I'm a little, you kind of weave it back to conspiracy theories here. Like I'm worried that they're about to try to like give us a global currency or something. And it's like, hey, you all got to use this. And I'm like, I want to use the dollar. Like, so there, but I have caught on to it, studied it. I know like Nas and some of those guys are involved in one of them that has just been blowing up. Obviously, Bitcoin was the one that started all of it. Not well enough versed in it to trust investing in it.
I have.
Have you? Which one?
I have. I've got 3. I got Bitcoin, which I've had for a long time. That was the original. Ethereum, which I've had not as long, but have had it. And then I got lucky. I will say that got lucky and still have some of Dogecoin.
Is that right?
Yes, got it at like 0.003 or something crazy, and it had like a 6,000% return in like 3 months. It was crazy. So
that's amazing.
It went up to like I think it like got to like 49. I think it's like at 27 or something today. But I got in at like 0.0.
Right.
Yeah. So of course I left because when you get at 0.003, I mean you got a gazillion coins, right?
Right.
So I left some in there, but I took most of it out and moved it around a little bit.
Yeah. No, I think
I wasn't gonna be the guy sitting there holding the bag when it went back down.
Right.
I got get mine.
I got my 0.003 back.
Yeah, I got my investment back and then some. So yeah, I've been dabbling a little bit because it's going. It's been going up. I mean it's crazy. The hard part about it is though is that you watch stocks and they may go up like 0.25% a day. I mean this stuff can move 10% in 5 minutes.
Right.
Either way.
Right. Well, we've got young guys like GAs and stuff around our office that they're up here all hours anyways, even in the off season. Like they're football junkies and they're young at their craft, and so they stay up here and they're not married, and so they don't have to like go home and like see their wife or kids or anything. And they'll be like, they're like on the next trend constantly. Like they can tell you before something's about to hit, they can tell you like, hey, tomorrow everybody's about to get in on this. And it's like pretty cool to watch. I have a hard time putting my money in something that I don't know about fully.
Yep.
And
that's the thing is I didn't like just go thousands of dollars.
Right.
I started but it just grew like
it blew up.
It blew up.
Yeah.
But like that's the thing is like my what I tell everybody about cryptocurrency is don't ever put more in cryptocurrency than it's like you're going to the casino. You better be ready to go to zero.
Heck yeah.
If you can't afford to let it go to zero, don't put it in there.
That's right.
So, all right. So here is a really, really, really good question. Interested to see what you think here. If Elon Musk, speaking of cryptocurrencies, if Elon Musk comes to you and says he's going to give you a seat on the first rocket to Mars, are you going?
Yes, without question.
Without question.
Yeah, no hesitation. I mean, I'd want to know the plan, kind of, but yeah, I mean, why not? You get not very often in your life you get to do something, be the first to do something, and especially the first to do something like that.
I wouldn't go.
You wouldn't? I'm all in. Because
I've been in a small space for like 3 years. I don't know if I could do it. I'd probably go nuts.
Yeah, I think I'd do it. I mean,
huh?
I think I'd do it. I think I'd be in. You got a contact to him. You think you can get me in on that?
No, but what we'll do
is he next? Is he next on the podcast?
Yes. Episode 8 is going to be. You made it on episode 7. Episode 8 is going to be Elon Musk. You just blew the biggest surprise for everybody. He's going. He's dealing with the moon right now,
right?
And he's worried about making this thing called Tesla. But as soon as he's done with that, he's coming on. He couldn't make it to episode 7, so that's you beat Elon Musk.
Yeah, well, I'd love to go to Mars. That'd be awesome. I don't know anything about it, but it sounds like fun. I'm in.
All right. You said you didn't watch any TV, right?
I watch a little, but I mean, I don't have shows that I don't have anything that I'm like, oh, it's on at 7 on Mondays. I gotta watch.
There's got to be something. What do you watch, or what have you watched that if your buddies ask you about, you'll deny? Like if I asked you on a normal setting, you would deny.
Yeah, I don't know that there's anything like I'm just totally embarrassed by, but I mean, it's not like I'm watching like The Bachelorette or Bachelor or anything.
You do watch that?
No, like if my wife's got it on, I'm sitting there walking through the room. I might watch it for a minute, but I'm not like watching it. Like it'd be like The Voice. I watch some. I wouldn't deny it, but things that might not be my typical things. I watched that Scandal show.
I've never seen that.
It kind of falls in the conspiracy theory deal. I don't watch a lot of TV shows regularly. This Is Us. I watched that. It got a little too sappy for me, so I had to get out.
That would be one I wouldn't admit to anybody.
Yeah, it got a little and I got out because it was like I can only handle so much sappiness every week.
Yeah, I called my mom like last week, and I was like, "What are y'all doing?" And they were like, "Oh, we're getting ready to sit down and watch This Is Us." I said, "Dad is sitting down watching this."
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Well,
we got to find something else.
And early on in that show, I thought there were some great things about it. But I'm like, I can't every whatever night it comes on be looking over my wife be tearing up over a TV show, me hanging out. Like that's not a good weekly activity.
It's a mood killer.
Yeah, it's not a great week.
Killer.
Like when we got limited time, I'm not going, hey, let's figure out how I can make her cry and ruin a night,
All right. Hey, I know you're a UFC fan, right? You like MMA stuff?
I like it. Yeah. I mean, I got a couple players that play for me right now that like love it. I like some of it. I like boxing. I like UFC. I like it. Okay.
Did you see the Chris Weidman injury from Saturday?
Yes, and I will not.
Yeah, and you're like me. We don't look at that kind of stuff, right? I mean, it's like,
dude, no, yeah.
So, 43 years old,
yep,
without question, the worst injury I had, and I've seen some bad ones.
Sick.
Worst in contact injury I've ever seen. Everybody was asleep. I watched the pay-per-view. Everybody was asleep in the house, and Erin, actually, my wife, she kind of likes to watch that stuff. So I like, Erin, I wake her up and she comes out there. She thought something was wrong. And it's like, I'm talking about, if you haven't seen it, if you're listening to the podcast and you haven't seen it and you would like to throw up in your mouth,
brutal.
Watch that. And that was
I can't watch it. Like I'm the kind of guy that like whenever we have a young man get hurt on video, I'm like, just go to the like I gotta watch it once, usually just to see like what was the cause? But then I'm like, all right, go next. Like I can't watch that. That's where UFC sometimes can be like there's stuff that happens and I'm like, oh gosh, like I'm not good with.
What's crazy is and I haven't told the story on the podcast, and I probably will one day. But and you know this, I fell when I was at Troy and playing at Troy. What ended my career, which if you want to call it a career, what ended my time at Troy, was I fell off a roof. I fell 40 feet off a roof in the summer before my last year. That's how I got into coaching. But so when I fell, I broke my tib, my fib, and then I broke bones of my feet. My ankle was actually dislocated as well.
Oh.
My foot was completely backwards. Okay. Now, but I can't watch injuries and all that stuff, but I can't even describe it to you. I was very calm. I was in a lot of pain, but I was calm. I actually took my own foot and turned it back around the right way and then held it in place in case, because I thought it was going to fall off. I didn't know. And I just
thought it was going to fall off.
Oh, it was wild, man. Because, I broke my tib and fib all the way through. I was wearing Gore-Tex boots. And it broke right on top of where the boot was, and so my foot from where my boot was completely backwards. Completely the other direction, 180 degrees the other way. But I actually took my own foot and put it back into place, and then just held it. To get while we were on the way to the hospital, I just held onto my foot because I thought it was going to fall off. It was wild. But I guess my point is this: is like having an injury like that. It's not you don't mentally. You're not like, oh, I can't look at it. You're like, let me get this fixed. You're not even.
Yeah.
But I can't watch.
No, I couldn't be a doctor or anything like that just for that reason. Not only because I'm probably not smart enough, but just that part of the job.
All right, so I can't go. We can't finish the interview until I ask you this critical question.
Yes.
Okay. And this will be it for me before we get to associate roulette. Okay. But if you could pick celebrity boxing, we asked Rich Rod this last week. It was a big hit.
Oh yeah.
All right, celebrity boxing is really big right now.
Yep.
Okay, if you could pick two head coaches to fight each other for a celebrity boxing match, who would you pick?
Yeah. So for me, it's like I got a whole card. Like it'd be a pay-per-view event, not one man. And I kind of got like, we're going to open up with maybe lesser names, but guys I know that I respect, that I want to see duke it out. So we'd start in the MAC. and we'd go Mike New at Ball State, who was a dear friend of mine. Mike and I worked at Tulane, awesome together at Tulane, awesome coach, great dude. I'd love to see him and Chris Creighton at Eastern Michigan. Very different guys. Mike's tall, lanky. Chris is not tall or lanky, but he's not a big guy. He's just normal. Chris was at Drake when I was at USD. So Chris was the head coach at Drake, and I was the defensive coordinator at the University of San Diego. We were coaching each other for a couple of years. And then we've played Eastern Michigan since I've been here. And I've got a ton of respect football-wise for both those guys. I think they're both great coaches and would love to watch them duke it out. The next bout on the card for me is, staying in the group of five. So we're going to build up here.
Okay, we're going to build up.
Chad Lunsford, all right, at Georgia Southern. You see him after they win games, there's locker room celebration. They do like WWFE, whatever it's called now, type stuff. And him and Sean Elliott at Georgia State, just because it's Sunbelt action, it's interstate. Yeah. That's probably the best interstate rivalry right now in the league, of that league. And you've got Sean Elliott's a super intense, O-line, tough, blue-collar acting dude. So I think that would that Mike New fight and Creighton fight would just kind of be like an appetizer, warm-up. Yeah. Lunsford and Elliott, I think, would be like a throwdown. Like, I think like
a co-main event. We're going 5 rounds, co-main event. Let's go.
Yeah, like we're getting ready to go. The next one I got that I really just want to see, because I think they're both probably pretty good guys. I know one of them better than the other, but they played each other in the bowl game this year. They've had a little bit of like the beach versus the mountain talk, and it'd be Coach Hugh Freeze and Jamie Chadwell, because I think they're both probably likely to show up at FCA camp together, or something like that, and they played in the bowl game, one of the best bowl games of the.
It was one of the best.
It was right before. I think it was right before we were getting ready to go to our bowl game, and I watched every play of that game. It was awesome. Yeah. But I think that would be a next. So we're warming up. Then,
but church basketball, league basketball is the roughest, nastiest sport in America.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no, it is.
They would get after each other.
I think that would be a good intense one. All right, then I got another one. It's kind of teacher versus pupil, similar personality, very different body type. I'd like to see their style of fighting. It would be Gus Malzahn and Drink. I think that would make for an interesting fight. I don't know. Like, Gus is much taller, got the arm length advantage.
Yeah, definitely can have.
Yeah, Drink's a little younger. I don't know if that's an advantage for him or not.
The key question is, do they or do they not wear their glasses while they're
gotta wear their glasses? Glasses must. Yeah, actually what determines the winner might be the first one that knocks the other one's glasses off.
Or do we go Rex specs?
No, I want to see the glasses on. Glasses on. Leave the glasses on. So I think Drink and Gus would be a good one. Then I got to include another good friend of mine, keep it interconference with them. And I think Neil Brown, Lincoln Riley, both undersized guys, scrappy, offensive guys, play callers, Big 12, the perennial blue blood in the Big 12 versus the up-and-comer, my good friend Neil. So I think that'd be a good fight.
Who are you taking in that one?
Lincoln's a little taller, got the arm length. But Neil runs hot. Like, Neil is. Here's why I think my money. Here's why I think my money would have to be on Neil, other than he's a good friend of mine. Is I'm pretty certain to win, Neil would figure out a way to not fight fair. Like, he's gonna it may be boxing, and he's gonna be like, all right, I brought a crowbar, because Neil may look like he's clean cut, but then it's time to figure out a win. We're gonna win, baby.
He's gonna win.
Yeah. All right, I got a couple more here, and I'll wrap up the last two. Well, this was really easy. If you're gonna say Big Ten most natural rivalry, Ohio State, Michigan, Ryan Day and Harbaugh. I mean, what are we doing? Like, Harbaugh is great entertainment. all the
Instead of
time.
shorts, does he wear khaki pants during the
Khaki pants. He's got to wear khaki pants. And we're gonna let Ryan Day keep his beard so he can wear the beard. So if it gets for some reason into shins, being on the shoulders, he can scratch him.
Okay.
But I think that'd be a good one. And the last one, you've got to, if you can't have any physical competition without including Ed Orgeron.
Oh, yeah,
I'm really torn here because there's a lot of people I'd like to see Ed Orgeron fight. Some of them for physical reasons, some of them more just because it's, like rivalries. So I think Ed Orgeron versus Jimbo Fisher could be cool.
Okay.
Ed Orgeron versus Mario Cristobal because he's got a little something.
That's the one I want to see.
All right, Ed Orgeron. I think a sneaky good one, a real good matchup here would be Ed Orgeron and Kyle Whittingham. I think Whittingham's got that's like the West Coast version from being a dude standpoint of Orgeron. So that would be like a really good fight, I think. People would that would be like legit pretty good. So that question, not that I knew you were going to ask it before. That's probably the most exciting question to me of all of them, because I would pay big money to watch any of that stuff go down. That would be better than going to the Kentucky Derby or the Oaks. That would be fun.
You know how much money you can make in a pay-per-view event with that?
Dude, enough to float a lot of different ideas. I mean, we could probably end some real bad issues in this world off the money of that. Just the money of that. There's a lot of good that could be done by those guys agreeing to that. So part of maybe quick recruiting's next endeavor. Maybe y'all should line that up.
Dude, we're gonna do it. It's gonna be like Rough and Rowdy, from Barstool. That's awesome. I love it. Every time I love it. It's hilarious. We're gonna do it coaches style, pay-per-view, and then look, we can you make so much money. You say, hey, look, you could give them 50% of the gate, and they'd retire.
No doubt.
All right, so it's time for our favorite segment.
Yes.
I can't say that's my second favorite segment because the last segment, I have to say it's my favorite or I'll be sleeping on the couch. My second favorite segment is Associate Roulette. So we got eight associates here. They've come up with 8 questions.
Oh,
you have to pick a number between 1 and 8. Go ahead.
Let's go 4, just because.
Okay, 4 is coming from my good buddy and one of your good buddies, Hunt Coleman.
Yes.
Hunt wants to know, you've coached at San Diego.
Yep.
And Tulane. San Diego is 30 minutes from Tijuana.
Yep.
And Tulane is in New Orleans. Which one is your go-to city, Tijuana or New Orleans?
New Orleans. Just Tijuana 20 years ago, maybe. To this day and age, I don't really want to get kidnapped. So I would have to say New Orleans by a landslide. That city is a lot of fun, and it's got some issues at times, but less kidnappings, less in New Orleans you can get in trouble, but Tijuana, man, when I first got to San Diego in 2007, it was still kind of okay, you can go over there, and then it wasn't but a couple years later, it's you can go over there if you want to die. You can go over there.
The ransom rate in New Orleans is a lot lower than the ransom rate in Tijuana.
Way lower. And, New Orleans gets a bad rap at times. New Orleans really, it's not as bad as people think. It's not perfect. No place is perfect, but.
Yeah, you got to know you got to know how to get around New Orleans. You know what I mean?
You got to know how to get around, and you got to know what there's really not a whole lot of most of the violence in New Orleans is targeted.
Yes, you got to have a little bit of street smarts.
Yeah.
I will never forget the first time. 100 years ago. I'm dating myself here. Well, early in my career, the convention used to go to New Orleans.
Yeah, it did. Yeah.
Okay? That's a story for a different time. Me and my man Tate Laney got some good stories there, but the convention used to be in New Orleans, and I remember, when we came down, one of the guys that worked with us was from Louisiana, all that stuff. And so we're going down Bourbon Street, and we stop, and we turn around. I was like, well, why don't we keep going? He goes, you see right there where the lights get dark? He goes, it's time to turn around.
Yeah.
He goes, you go to this block, and that's it. And you just gotta have some street smarts in what you're doing.
We had a ton of fun there. We moved there without kids, so we picked up our twins there, the 7-year-olds. But when we were there, we lived in Uptown. We lived in Uptown the whole time there. Bought bikes, rode our bikes like to the French Quarter all the time. Like we made lifelong friends there. One of the coolest places, man. Like just you talk about culture and like having a good time. I told people, like, when I lived in New Orleans, you have to constantly drive around with a camping chair or two in the back of your vehicle, because you never know when you're going to pull up into a party.
This is accurate.
And so, like, there's a festival every dang weekend. I mean, they make up a reason to have a festival. So you got to keep a chair in your car. So if you pull on a festival and you want to stop and stay and have a drink or whatever, you better be ready to like hang out. So I would keep, when I lived there, I kept camping chairs in my vehicle. So when I pulled up on the scene and I wanted to be a part of the party, you had a chair.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right. So you got question number 2 here. All right. So pick a number between 1 through 8 for associate roulette.
Oh, goodness. Let's go 2.
All right. 2 comes from a man, Tyler Festa.
Oh, gosh, Festa. Festa, this could be dangerous.
It's actually, it's okay. I already know the answer to this one, but it's a funny question. All right. Who would win a game of 101 between you and John Calipari?
I'm going to crush you.
I like it.
Yeah, it's not even going to be close. I mean, here's the deal. Are we shooting free throws or is there no free throws?
Just 1-on-1. Game 1-on-1.
There's no free throws.
No fouls.
I'm winning. Done. Easy. I mean, I'm sure he can shoot it better than me. I hope he can shoot it better than me. But he's not going to play more physical than me. And I think I'm winning that game. I'm not a great basketball player, but I'm good enough to compete, and I'm not giving up any easy shots. There will be blood drawn on a basketball court if we're having to like play for keeps here.
What if there were fouls called? Could you win?
Probably not. Probably not. That's why I was like, that's not. If there's fouls called and if there's any sort of implications of the fouls, free throws, or you could foul out, probably not winning. Probably got no chance then. I like the other rules better. Fouls. Unlimited fouls.
I love how, like, and then people don't know this, but, out of season, coaches play basketball and pick up basketball out of season.
Oh, yeah.
It's the big thing in college football. I mean, believe it or not. And it would blow people's mind how rough and how it is. People can imagine it. They can't even imagine how rough and physical it gets on coaches basketball in the offseason.
Dude, I've seen, I'm not going to name any names, but I've seen like legitimate, almost knockdown, throw down, drag out type fights. Like go over pick up basketball. Like then, and 2, I've gotten to where like I'm almost at that point where I'm afraid if I play, I'm going to injure myself because you can't play.
We're not there yet. Don't give it.
I'm getting there, dude. I've seen enough bad things happen to guys that are younger than me. I'm like, whoa.
Well, see, you're part of the big crew because you're a bigger guy. See, I got it easy, man. I learned early in my career. Like when I played basketball, I was let's drive it to the rim and let's go. Let me tell you something. I learned very early in my coaching career. My little ass stays
out there.
Lines,
well, so
I'm not driving.
One of my good friends, all right, so I'm at the University of San Diego. I'm a defensive coordinator. And one of my best friends at the time still, is a guy named Keith Carter. Keith was our tight ends coach now. And Keith's a fantastic coach. He's the O-line coach for the Tennessee Titans now. Keith is like killed it, done a great job, great career. Well, Keith played tight end at UCLA, all right? He's from Philly, grew up in Philadelphia, just outside of Philly. And Keith's like legit 6'4" something, and like still power cleans and squats and like does stuff. Like my idea of a good workout is like I'll go run a couple miles and do some abs and maybe a few push-ups, right? Like I ran 4 miles. So that's a big deal for me.
You ran 4 miles a day?
Yeah, I run 4 miles 3 days a week. So how do you think I look so good?
I mean, was somebody chasing you or?
No, well, if they were, they would have caught me. I don't go real fast, but I go. But so Keith, we're USD, and Keith, like, Division I tight end, like Power 5 tight end, was a like legitimately good high school basketball player. Like, I don't know if probably all state type guy, like really good, could shoot it, had good handles, like great with the ball, great without the ball, like understood how to play the game. Well, Keith's like 6'4" or something. I'm not that tall. I'm 6'2", maybe, whatever. Keith's like legit 6'4". Well, our staff at the time, it never failed. Every time we go play, they'd say, all right, Summy and Keith can't be on the same team, so they're the first 2 picks. Who are you taking? Everybody's like, well, Keith's way better than me. But I wouldn't allow to be on the same team as him. They'd make me guard him. And I'm like, and Keith and I are both competitive as hell. We live together. And so, like, I would have to just, like, hunker down and try to, like, jab him in the kidneys. And, like, I would try to, like, lean on him. And then, like, as soon as I felt like he was about to, like, lean back on me with his weight, like, try to move and see if I could get him to fall. Because this dude was, like, a freaking animal. The best games I can ever recall of pickup basketball were the handful of times they let me and Keith be on the same team. Because then we would just freaking bully everybody. Because he was bullying me, and I was the second most physical guy out there. But he was an animal.
Yeah. Yep. Little guys like me, we just stand outside and then let you guys get tired, and then we'll kick it out, shoot the three.
Yeah, no doubt.
I just run between the top of the keys. And then sit out there when y'all get tired of backing each other down. They'll kick it back out. So that's my game. All right, so it's time for the last segment. Okay.
All right.
This is what my wife wants to know.
Uh-oh.
So Aaron I was waiting on this. I knew she's probably got inside information from Jenny and all that stuff.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
There's no telling where this question came from.
Yeah.
All right.
It's probably a question from Jenny.
Yeah, probably. All right. Especially this is how it starts.
Yeah.
You ready? This is great. Till I didn't write this question.
Yeah.
Your wife, Jenny, is a fitness guru.
It's true. She is. She is. She's a powerhouse.
She's a fitness guru. All right. You have to run a marathon with her. You are given 6 weeks to train. Who's going to win?
She's going to kick my butt. So I got no chance.
That's what she gave you, no chance. You can't win this question because you either lose to your wife running or you're sleeping on the couch.
Well, my daughter had a tonsillectomy this morning, so I'm already sleeping on the couch.
Okay.
Because I will not be in the room while all that recovery is going on for the next week. But so I'm actually sleeping in the basement. I'm like, hey, Jenny, I'll see you next week. But I got no chance. My wife, so we both run. I run 4 miles 3 days a week. That's kind of my routine. But my wife runs like a couple times a week. She doesn't have enough time because of the kids and stuff. And so I run like either early in the morning or here during lunch at work. And my pace is usually anywhere from 9.5 minute mile to 10.5 minute mile, depending on what I've been doing, how far I'm running, whatever. Well, she'll run like twice a week and she'll be like, yeah, I ran 6 miles. It wasn't a great run. It was 9 minutes even. And I'm like, it just pisses me off. I'm like, I run 3 times a week. Like she literally last summer went to the lake with some friends on our staff here. We go to the lake. She pulls her hamstring trying to slalom ski. And within 3 months is able to still beat me time-wise running. And I'm like, it drives me crazy because she is ridiculously fit and tough and mentally tough. And like, there's stuff. I went to her workout class, totally separate issue. I went to her workout class before COVID, like January, February of 20.
Yep.
And I went on a couple of Saturdays, and it's like I walk in, there's really a bunch of women and a couple of older guys. And I'm like, this is going to be cake. And I just totally get my butt kicked. Like I'm talking about, I'm like, hey, where's the garbage can? I got to puke. Like, I mean, this is not okay. And I got And my kids are in the child care, and they're like looking out the window and seeing me puke in the garbage can, and they're like, "Dad, Mom's kicking your butt in the workout." I'm like, "Yeah, what do you expect?" So my wife's way more fit. I'd love to say I'd win. I'm competitive. I couldn't be. Now if it's a sprint, like we're talking about the 100, I'm winning. I'm winning 100.
Okay.
I got
100.
but I can't finish a marathon. She run a marathon in her sleep.
Yeah, I couldn't. I don't run distance, and you've heard me say this. I don't run, period. So
Yeah.
if you see me running, stop and help me because somebody's
Or,
chasing.
about to say, or start running. Like
Yeah, or start running. Yeah, one or the other.
If I'm running, start running because I'm running from something.
I'll go. I'll row. I'll lift. I'll do all that stuff. I'm not running. I played receiver the day I ran for. You just get so sick of running.
No doubt.
I mean, that's all you did was run.
Yeah.
Run. And so I'm tired. I don't. My legs are done. I ran 57 marathons in my life with my legs. So
that is hilarious.
I'm done with that. Well, John, I want to appreciate you, brother. Man, you've been gracious with your time today, and
Awesome.
can't wait to see you guys this fall, and look forward to seeing the future for you. And I know you can't say this, I can. See, there's a lot of things I can say and you can't, but really excited to see the future. I know it's right around the corner before you get your own head gig, and I've told people 1,000 times we need to have a coaching search like Siskey and Associates should have their own coach search firm. Because
yes.
I am a huge believer, and all kidding aside, a huge believer in this. I think the most successful head football coaches in FBS are guys that know how to recruit and are very organized.
Yeah.
Because, with coaching searches and all that stuff, you go and you get a play caller, you get a coordinator that's done this. Well, people don't realize is very, 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 very few head coaches actually call plays because of all the demands go on them. But they have to, and they have to be organized, and those two things. And I think that's the two. I think that's you're elite in both of those, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for you.
No, I appreciate the kind comments, and I appreciate your friendship, man. Got a ton of respect for what you've done over the years, and excited to continue to see what you are doing. It's been cool hearing about it, and look forward to seeing what you guys do. I think it's going to blow up, and y'all are going to kill it, man.
I appreciate you, brother. Have a good one.
All right. See you, dog.
All right.